Hello, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to 321 No Kiddin'. I am Bobby the Awesome, and it is currently, at the time of recording, Thursday, January 28th, and I'm going to kick us off with the inspirational quote of the day from the Calendar Mom Bot. And it says, "Don't let your mind bully your body." And I think that's going to be applied to, a lot of things. The first thing that comes to mind, I think, is health and wellness. You know, my mind will tell me it's okay to go buy a pack of cigarettes. It's okay to go place a bet. It's okay to have that drink. It's okay to eat that ice cream. I'm not giving up ice cream. Not ever. It's part of my happiness. But you get what I'm saying. And this is saying that we shouldn't let our mind talk us into things. So I thought that was a pretty good one. What does our body, mind, and soul books, body, mind, and spirit books say today? Catherine G. kicks us off with a quote, "I was so mixed up, I tried to be perfect at avoiding perfectionism." Oh, the struggle with perfectionism. Of all the clubs we can use to beat ourselves with, that one may be the worst. With all the musts, must-nots, shoulds, and should-nots we demand of ourselves, it's a wonder we can get through some days at all. One woman said she called one of her cats by the other cat's name and as a result spent the next 2 hours depressed. Most of us don't go that far with perfectionism, but we still take unreasonable demands of ourselves. The 1-year test is a good one for perfectionism. If I fill in the blank, what difference will it make in a year? Okay, this is hard to convey reading. The 1-year test. So you're asking yourself, will it matter a year from now? So like this lady yelling at her cats, will it matter a year from now that she called one cat the wrong cat's name? Some things will be important in a year. Making meetings, contacting our sponsor, communing with our higher power, and being honest with ourselves and others are all important. And we should be concerned when we fail. But more often, we punish ourselves for our little failures, forgetting someone's name or saying the wrong thing. These are the crimes we remember most. But now we can learn to forgive ourselves and concentrate on what's really important, our new lives and recovery. Today, help me remember what's important. Help me forgive myself for minor mistakes. It's always good to be reminded of this, guys, because I'm pretty sure we all do it. And maybe it's not even for perfectionism. Maybe it's just the standards we give ourselves, which is why I tend to be very transparent with you guys when I screw up or when I miss a day or, things like that it's not perfect. Like I'm going to be traveling next week. And chances are I'm going to record a couple of the shows ahead of time so that you have your daily reading and I don't have to be stressed about it when I'm traveling. That's not perfect. Perfect is me sitting here in front of this microphone every morning and waking up with you. That's part of how I get the best value out of my recovery. And that's the way I like it. So that way you know what's happened in the last 24 hours and if I've learned anything. But I'm not perfect, and if I want to travel, I need a good backup plan that isn't going to be perfect. This concept of being perfect goes back to the voices in our heads telling us. It starts with our values and our expectations of ourselves, but we let those voices beat us up when we're not doing what we think we should be doing to that level. I will never encourage you to beat yourself up. I will always, always tell you to give yourself some grace and some forgiveness. And it could be anything small from calling someone the wrong name to something big like relapsing. As long as you're putting your effort into it, or things like calling someone the wrong name could be just an accident. Our minds are fabulous, weird things. And I know for me, I've called people the wrong name because maybe I know someone that has a name similar, or I might be not having my full attention on what I'm doing. So if I pick up on letters or words or another name somewhere else, it may just be what shows up in the conversation. That is not a life-threatening issue. I mean, I did it to a stranger the other day. I was getting my coffee and I said good morning. And of course, we're wearing masks, right? And this guy was friendly back. And I really thought he was someone I used to work with. And I made small talk like, oh, are you going into the building today? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else. And I kind of got a laugh out of it. Like, it's okay to laugh at ourselves. And if it isn't that serious, to be okay laughing at ourselves. I am definitely one for forgiving myself on the things that won't matter a year from now. I'm still hard on myself. Like the other day when I was like I told you guys about, I was venting about the fella that I was spewing on. I'm trying to give myself a little grace because that wasn't exactly how I wanted to do. I mean, I've forgiven myself over it and I moved on, but I still didn't like acting that way. So now my choice is to not act that way next time. And that's all I can control. It goes back to the basics of the Serenity Prayer and of the way we should be living our lives in recovery to move forward in our recovery. So that's my thought there. I hope that you're being kind to yourself and really understanding the magnitude of the kind of things that you're beating yourself up for. I've never really strived for perfectionism, like how I look, how clean my apartment is. To me, perfectionism is worrying about the small stuff, and I don't really tend to think about the small stuff. I want to focus on the big picture stuff and the key items, and I'm kind of a 80-20 rule kind of girl. I care about the 20% of the things that consume 80% of my life or move the needle or make the difference. I don't care about the 80% of potential mistakes or blemishes or whatever you want to call them, because they're not worth the energy, because that 80% could take 8,000,000% of my time to pay attention to. And it's just small stuff. It really is. It doesn't have to be life or death. And don't get me wrong, there's still times, like I told you about yelling at the outside of the bank a couple weeks ago because they were closed. I was just venting and very overreacting. I didn't handle that perfectly, but whatever reason, yelling at a brick building made me feel a little, I want to say a little better. I'm not sure it made me feel better. It actually makes me mortified that I act that way. But again, I have to forgive myself because it's the best I could do. And that's where I'm at. So I hope that you're working on this and developing this skill. And I thank you for listening. I thank you for considering the assignments that I give you. And I hope that you have a spectacular day, beautiful people. Talk to you tomorrow.